Hi, I'm Sister Christine Martin, daughter of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. I've spent close to 30 years in South Africa, arriving before Nelson Mandela was released. It's been a very challenging time, but I'd like to tell you a little about one orphan family. In the height of the AIDS pandemic, before there was antiretroviral treatment, thousands of people were dying in South Africa, and there was no medication in rural villages to actually alleviate their suffering. A young girl, the eldest of four, had left school to nurse her dying parents. Her name was Natalia. We met her after the parents had been buried in the ground beside their house, and we saw that they had little food and even less prospects of surviving. We talked to the children, and the two youngest, at 9 and 7 years of age, were taken to our mission at Dawes River, where the sisters there had a home of safety for little girls. There they could be fed and health cared and educated and come home in the school holidays. The boy, Duncan, was 13, beginning high school, so he stayed in the family home with his older sister, Natalia, who had left school to nurse the parents. So the idea was that Natalia, once Duncan left for school in the morning, could come into the convent and learn some skills to help her in the hope of employment. We trained her as a receptionist with both basic computer skills and answering the phone, taking accurate messages, and enrolled her in an English course. Once Nelson Mandela was released and made President of South Africa, Afrikaans was no longer the national language. English became the national language. So for Natalia to have skills for employment, it was best that she became proficient at English. She worked really hard and did well. We also taught her sewing, just another little skill that would help her back home with the family. And in one time, perhaps open a little cottage industry to do repair work for other people in her village. Natalia met her future husband, who was a local pastor, and up until this time has had 5 children. She also had the vision of opening a creche so that she was home with her own children, but also took in the children of other local people who had employment. This creche was meant to feed the children during the day and to take in fees to buy the food and the equipment and pay the wages of the 3 staff who worked there. When I went to visit Natalia several times, there was often a story about 1, 2, and sometimes 4 or 5 children that she had included in the creche because they were orphaned or vulnerable to the extent that nobody in their family could pay fees, but they'd stand and watch the little creche children playing and being cared for. It broke Natalia's heart, and she opened the gate and included them in all the activities. I said to her once, how can you manage to do this? And she said, well, sister, you did it for us. I can't not do it for them. This, I think, is the spirit of Mission Alive, that we can pass on to the next generation and the next, the caring and the love. They experienced it from us and they pass it on again.